Hello, Stephen Bulger talking about photographs in the gallery, and we're still in my office. There's a fair bit of stuff here. And this wall is something that surprises a lot of people when they first see it. It's part of a collection my wife Catherine Lash and I have been building, I guess, about 20 years now. We have close to 600 authentic wedding photographs. The idea initially was to have a teaching collection that would go from daguerreotype to digital, showing different photographic processes. And then as it evolved, we started to show different photographic styles. Now we're concentrating on wedding traditions from around the world. And we hope it'll eventually be encyclopedic enough to become part of a collection, like a public collection in a history museum, a place that would have all different types of experts that can unpack the information that is contained in this collection. Because it's more than just a photography collection. There's a lot of cultural history in here. And as far as we've come to know, it's the largest one of its type. It's probably not a surprise to a lot of people. These are some recent gifts that we've been given. And it gives us a lot of fun that we, some of these we find a lot of times, as I said, we receive some gifts. Some we have to spend quite a bit of money on if we're convinced that it fills a gap that needs to be filled. It's a Dave Heath photograph. That's Andre Kertész vintage contact print. But to isolate, one or two photographs, depending on how you see it, I want to bring your attention to these two pictures. This top one, they're both by Dollimore and Bullock, and the wedding itself occurred on May 30th, 1864. It was the marriage of the Comte du Paris, and who was Philip d'Orléans, and his cousin, Germaine Marie Isabelle d'Orléans at Kingston. And what I love about this is this was taken about 3 years after he had returned home from serving as a captain in the Union Army as part of the American Civil War. He went over there with his brother. These are all the people that were not invited to the wedding, I assume. And you can see how they're held back together by a rope. Everyone is quite well dressed. Seems to be primarily women. And they're all being photographed and all looking at the photographer. You'd think, in 1864, for women dressed this way to be situated where they are, must have been quite unusual. But this was quite a celebrated wedding at the time. It was, I think everyone wanted to be there. So the royal wedding of its day. And in the companion photograph, there's the happy couple. And what I love here is that you can see how most people are no longer looking at the photographer, but they're trying to reposition themselves so they can get a glimpse of the happy couple as they exit. So it's just this wash of people because the exposure time required to take these photographs would still have been slow enough that it would have created that effect. And that's really an important part of our collection, is that it's a history of photography, it's a history of wedding practices, social mores. And these I was luckily to get from Michael Hoppin in the UK, just to let you know that everywhere I go, I'm looking for wedding photographs of some sort. If anyone out there happens to have cyanotype of a wedding ceremony, we're definitely interested. It's something that remains off the list.